And here we go. Welcome to the pod. Welcome to the pod. What's up, everybody? This is The Quad with Chris Young. As always, I am Chris. We got Haley the Bear.
Hello.
Producer Josh.
I was running behind this morning, so I forgot to grab a water, and now I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. And Ryan from Miami.
Oh, March sadness for everybody.
I believe, actually, Ryan, which we'll get to that, as you like to try and skip ahead, which is why we put you last. If everyone is out there listening has heard the podcast before, you've heard us pick on Ryan about this. But if you're brand new to the podcast, just to let you know, we used to introduce everybody at random, and we started putting Ryan at the end because Ryan likes to try to jump ahead into topics that we haven't even gotten to yet.
I thought it's because you saved the best for last. Is that not what it is?
That's not what it is.
Nope. Not at all.
That was what I thought the allure was for saving for last.
Oh, man. Okay, before we do get started with sports and March Madness and movies and everything else, who won the poll?
So the poll winner for this week, by the way, you can always go check out our polls on twitter.com/thequad with
every
CY.
single time?
You should have got him while he was drinking his coffee.
Yeah, I should have.
So the poll winner for this week, which was the hot take, which was the best action movie star of all time, with 49.4% of the vote, the winner was Bruce Willis.
Yes.
Weird.
This was actually a pretty pretty even poll. Like there's almost 400 votes in this thing. Second place was Keanu Reeves at 21%. But look at that, Bruce Willis coming in clutch.
I'm not surprised.
He has a lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah,
so.
he's going through a lot, and I think a lot of people have great memories of all the movies that Bruce Willis has been in. Obviously, I always make my pitch every year that Die Hard is my favorite Christmas movie, so you know
It's not. It's too early. It was way too early in the year to do this.
Yeah, we're a ways away from doing that again. But yeah, that's I think any of those picks would have been great. I mean, we left people out too. We even talked about that last week, so that was a good one.
I'm surprised too that there were a lot of different folks we could have put in there, especially given the success of the recent. God, I'm literally blanking right now on the actor that I'm trying to say. Tom Cruise. Thank you. Never mind. I'm going to sit in my corner.
The recent success of Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I was trying to go with, okay, you know what?
That
It's
new
Monday.
actor, Tom
Anybody
Cruise.
have a case of the Mondays? Yeah.
All right. My favorite statistic about Tom Cruise was somebody pointed out the last Mission Impossible movie he did. He was the same age that Wilford Brimley was when Wilford Brimley filmed Cocoon. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, just go look up Wilford Brimley and then look at Tom Cruise, and you'll be like,
oh
how?
My God.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
In fairness, Wilford Brimley has looked 70 years old his entire life.
That's fair.
What is Tom Cruise eating or doing or work? Like, how is this possible?
I don't know.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
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 Boy.
Oh my goodness.
Uh-huh.
I have so much more respect for Tom Cruise right now, and I am so mad that I didn't pick Tom Cruise as my best.
I feel like
action
Paul
film.
Rudd and Wilford Brimley are the same age right now too.
Wait, he's dead?
Yeah.
Well, he passed away. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That one got me. I was like, no. And then I looked it up and I was like, yeah. Okay. All right. Let's start with music first.
Music.
Gilbert, Arizona. Thank you guys so much for coming out. It actually got cold in Arizona. I was not ready for that. Yeah, it was like average temperatures. It was like, 72, 73 during the day.
And then it dropped.
And then by the time we were on stage, it got cold and everybody was wearing like cut off t-shirts. So shout out to everybody sticking around and hanging out for the show, because I know it was cold out there. I could see people just like starting to stand closer together. You know, like normally people are trying to make space at a concert.
They're huddling.
Oh yeah, they were huddling together for sure. But absolutely amazing crowd, amazing show, a whole lot of fun. Going to do an event today as soon as we get done recording this podcast down in Chattanooga. Doing a radio show down there. And then this weekend, if anybody is free in the DFW area, we are playing 2 shows at Billy Bob's in Fort Worth. So make sure you come on out there. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Any more Randy Travis appearances? Or
dude, you never know. You never know. I didn't know he was going to be
surprises
there.
In store?
The last time we did that acoustic round, I didn't know he was going to be there. He just shows up.
He's just that guy.
Love that.
Yeah.
He's just kind of around. It's great.
It's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, definitely, if you have not picked up tickets for that, we're going to be having a really awesome weekend this weekend. So come hang out. Looking for You, obviously, current single. I will continue to hammer this because I have a microphone and you're listening to this, so you have to hear me talk about it every week. But go stream it, listen to it, download it, purchase it, whatever you want to do. Watch the video. Go check it out. So excited about this song. So it's starting to pick up some steam right now, which I'm very, very excited about. And I've been working on new stuff. I've been doing some vocals.
He's been working on new stuff for a very long time.
Yeah, well, that's how it works.
Yeah, you record. I mean, you're one of those
I don't
artists.
know if
you
you know
record.
this.
Yeah, you record year long. You're always working on stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if you know how the process works, but there's like more than one thing you have to do to put a record out.
No, I know that. But all of us have been patiently waiting.
I've released 2 songs when I only had to release 1. There's another video that we already shot that's coming out soon, which is a tease.
You're getting bonus material already.
Yeah, come on. Like I'm doing the thing.
It's never enough.
all right, so since you can't really put out exactly what you're doing, how about you tease us with this? Any cool collaborations you've been doing with other artists that could be coming up?
So we're not doing what we did with the last record, and I've been on record in a completely different kind of record of saying this. You know, Famous Friends was really dictated by the fact that it kind of evolved into, hey, we're going to have a whole bunch of collabs on this record. That's not what this album is going to be, but I do have one that is already confirmed.
Yes.
And when we get ready to drop that, which will probably be before the record comes out, I'll make sure that person is a guest on the podcast.
The week before,
1 billion views
and
on this episode, and you release that name.
And I said that person, so you know it's not a group. You know it's not a duo. It's an individual.
I feel like the week before that we should play 20 questions. Just see if we can
guess it.
See if we
But
can guess it.
I already know who it is, so I can't.
Haley's out.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh, yeah.
Ryan. That's Ryan and Josh on that one.
You guys can play 20 questions. I like 20 questions, actually.
That's great.
Okay, we'll do that.
We'll do it.
So,
we'll plan it
okay,
ahead.
first question. Who is
That's not how 20 questions works, Ryan. We're gonna have to give Ryan like a cheat sheet on how to operate 20 questions.
I feel like this tells me a lot about Ryan's childhood. So we're playing the quiet game. Okay. Did I win? I was quiet.
Listen here, okay? Only child syndrome pops out every now and then.
Every now and then.
And this is where it is.
Oh man. Any more stuff coming up with Sam?
Couple shows next month in Vegas at Resorts World, and then an iHeart thing in May, and then we start tour prep
Nice.
in June.
Nice.
Couple questions.
There's gonna be a really great one in November. You and Sam are both gonna be in Miami.
Miami?
Oh, is he on
it's
that
going to be
show?
such
Yeah.
a good one.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Well, there you go. I will see you there, sir.
that's gonna be the fun one.
I think that might be a pod trip because it is the
Miami.
hometown of yours truly. So I feel like a little Miami trip for the quad would be pretty cool. But
I can do that.
I did have some questions, Josh, for you. Number one, pretty cool to see Outskirts take off as it has, which was the new release by Sam Hunt. But the question I have you ever been to the Resorts World in Las Vegas? Because that is going to be an experience, my friend.
I have not.
Uh-oh.
That's the answer.
Okay, cool.
Uh-oh.
Good to know.
All right,
That's gonna be
everybody pick a roulette number. We'll give Josh some money and
Ooh,
send him down.
Ooh.
I shotgun 7. Is that cool?
Wow. Thanks, Ryan. I literally have a brand called Lucky Number 7. You can go ahead and snipe that. Appreciate it.
Everyone knows.
All right, I'll take 3.
Chris definitely knows what my number
Wait,
is.
you don't get more than one number, Ryan. I said one number.
See, that's my problem. That's why when I play
You
with
get
it,
one
it's
number,
not
Ryan.
good.
One.
Because I scatter my money all across the board, and then it didn't work out well on the cruise recently.
Oh. Now, were you down bad?
Okay, so story time. There was
Did your losses include a comma?
yes, comma, but there was
wow.
there was one time
Yeah,
where
they raise money.
Sheesh.
yeah, well, it needs to kick in here. So the 30th can't come soon enough, 10 days away. But with that being said, there was one time I hit 3 in a row. And, when you hit 3 in a row on roulette, you're feeling confident. You're like, oh, I got this table. It's hot. Well, I lost 7 in a row after that. So that was not unlucky number 7 for me. Yeah.
Maybe I haven't done it enough. I don't know. The gambling thing, just like other than sports gambling, where I feel like I have a competitive advantage because of all of the sports that I watch, all the basketball I watch, etc. It doesn't. I don't know. I feel like it's too much chance, and maybe it's just I don't know any of the tricks or any of the math behind it. But I just always feel kind of like I'm just setting money down and be like, all right, goodbye. I'll see you later. Enjoy.
Bye.
That kind of should be the strategy, though, right? You just say goodbye to it, and then if you win it back, oh, great, look at that.
But I like my money too much. I would rather why don't I just keep it?
Casinos seem to like my money too much, too.
Yeah, they do. They do like your money a lot. So the 15th. So that was this week. Okay. Do you
Yes.
want me to make you
Yes.
feel
Wait, we're
ill?
still on music.
Yes, I know, but we're unfortunately
On topic.
So because we were talking about music and then him going to a casino with Sam Hunt. That is how we got here. In case you were just now joining the podcast, or you skipped forward.
And the national gambling hotline is 1-800-522-4700.
There
Ladies
it is.
and gentlemen, just in case.
Thank you,
just
Ryan.
In case. I might be on speed dial.
Also, shout out to our friends over at DraftKings. Hit a 7-pick parlay for a lot of their money. So,
what were the odds on that?
Thank you.
Do you still have the odds on that?
Plus 6,753.
Good job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay, cool. Nice. Nice. Yeah.
His
Yeah.
win
Nice.
included a comma. Yours,
Yeah, just-
you lost nothing.
Okay, let's not be mean to Ryan.
Rude.
All right, let's go to what are you listening to? Who wants to start?
I'll do it.
All right.
I was referencing this for a song that I was working on, but Just to See You Smile by Tim McGraw. A classic.
Oh,
Nice.
that is a classic. Is it? Who's next?
Anyone?
Last night, Morgan Wallen. Can't get away from that song.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Quite literally is everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Well, now we have 2 versions because I think 2 weeks ago I had the girl version on there. I'm gonna go with Halsey, another Halsey song. She is on a song called "Die for Me," and she released her own full version of it. So it's "Die for Me," Halsey.
Ryan.
Nice. Mine's Copperhead Road because that song came on the other day.
Are you
Oh
serious?
my God. It came on the long road trip down to Florida. And I'll tell you what, driving to U-Haul and singing the Copperhead Road at the top of your voice. If you haven't done that, you haven't lived.
There's nothing to
Just for the
sing at the
record.
top of your voice for. It's a line dancing song. Does anyone ever actually listen to Copperhead Road outside of line dancing? Because it's just a beat and I can't sing it because obviously whatever. But you know what I mean? Like you can't sing that at the top of your lungs. There's nothing that.
Oh, I did. Windows down on I-75 driving through Atlanta. Oh boy.
Can you just
Let me
give us
tell
a
you what,
preview
Atlanta-
real quick?
Here's the problem. You're like, what you mean is at the top of your lungs, because it's definitely not at the top of your voice unless you have the register of
Josh Turner.
Like no one. No, Josh can sing higher than that. It's not a high song. It's not supposed to be that. It's more vibey.
That's the point. It's a line dancing song.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever
was
heard that
vibing
song
already.
outside of a line dancing bar.
Smell the whiskey burning down Copperhead Road. Like that's.
But it's still not even that
It's not at the top of your voice. It's at the top of your lungs. Is the phrase you were looking for?
It was at the top of I-75 in the middle of traffic in Atlanta. Everybody was hearing it. So,
All right. Well, then I assume you do not mean some random version we've never heard. You're talking about Steve Earle, yes?
correct.
Okay.
Steve Earle's
There you
version.
go.
Yes,
Since you
correct.
didn't-
By the way,
Didn't name you.
did have a question. How was CRS week? Because that seemed like a lot of fun here in Nashville. Country radio seminar, right?
What am I talking about that?
You had a
Monday-
show Wednesday or
I mean,
Monday
it was
night.
It was Monday. We were previewing it, but
I'd
you
already
hadn't
done.
anything.
I'd already done the Canada
Sunday,
thing.
yeah.
Okay. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Sometimes those things are. Everybody sits and politely claps, and they're like, "We're all here. We're just watching." Everybody jumped up, was having a good time, having fun. I actually wanted to play longer than I played, so it went really, really well.
You had a cookie with your face on it.
They did make cookies with my face on it. If you have not seen,
Were they tasty?
my Instagram,
Did it taste good?
well, I mean, here's the thing. I took a bite of the hair. So if that's what hairspray tastes like, it was pretty good.
All right.
Ryan's so
Can I
confused.
can I have one of these cookies? I would really like.
They are
it to-
gone now. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
They're more decorative.
unfortunate.
They're
I
not
didn't
really-
I didn't even really eat the entire cookie. Let's be honest. I did that more for the camera shot that we used on IG, and yeah. It was
That's a
pretty
waste of a cookie.
fun. All right, let's go to sports.
Sports.
March Madness. This is the second year in a row where in the Sweet 16 there is no Kentucky, no Kansas, no North Carolina, and no Duke.
Kansas was in it last year. They won it.
Second year out of the last three. I'm
Out of the
sorry.
last three, yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize. You're right. 2 years ago,
2 years ago.
none of them were
Yeah,
in it.
correct.
So, like, is that like a sign? And I mean, again, you're saying Kansas won it last year, but like all four of those teams, 2 out of 3 years, these are the perennial, like they are the basketball schools, and none of them was in it 2 out of 3 years.
I don't really watch college basketball, but I can tell you from the NBA side of it, everyone is coming into the league more skilled than ever. So it's possible that there is more parity and more skill in these like smaller conference, smaller teams,
I
which
mean,
is
you
why
can-
you're seeing all these upsets. And
Also, being able to sponsor players now.
Name, image, and likeness, you mean?
Yes.
That it's not sponsoring players, it's them getting paid for their name, image, and likeness.
yeah.
Regardless, but
Yeah.
that's also kind of why football's kind of been a big. There's been a change has been seen throughout college football.
Well, and I will say parity was a theme this year in college basketball. So that it continued into the tournament. But a couple of things that you guys noted. Number one, Kansas is the 6th straight reigning champ to be eliminated on the opening weekend. So
Yeah.
6 times in a row now in the tournament, we've seen the defending champ get ousted, before the round of 16. In addition to that, this is the 4th time since the field expanded in 85 that multiple number 1 seeds failed to reach the Sweet 16. It also happened in 2000, 2004, and 2018. But I love this. I absolutely love that's the reason why it's madness. You want parity. You want teams like Princeton to win twice. You want a Fairleigh Dickinson, to pull off an upset.
Wait,
I mean, it doesn't.
do you? Okay, look, I get it. It's amazing, Cinderella story.
But they usually end up falling the next round.
Yeah,
anyways.
it's only the second time in history a 16 has beat a 1. I don't think that's something everybody wants every year.
It's not, but
It's
it's the
fun.
second time in 5 years that it's happened.
Which again, so I go back to my question. It's not a parody question. I'm asking, are the quote unquote blue blood schools of college hoops going away? Is that becoming something that is not just parity, but is more like all of the players are not only, like you said, becoming more skilled? It's not just we have, a number one player, and so we get all these other recruits, and Kentucky's getting everybody, or Duke's getting everybody, or North Carolina's getting everybody, or Kansas is getting everybody because of what they are. Now players are just going wherever they feel fits them the best, and they're not so concerned about being drafted just because they didn't play at Kansas.
I think that's part of it. I mean, Devin Booker was like a rotation guy at Kentucky, and now he's a superstar. I think it's partially that. I think it's also no Coach K. Bill Self was not coaching in this tournament because he had a health issue. So some of these elite coaches that were kind of part of the backbone. Now, I'm not going to say Bill Self would have accounted for 8 more points, but
he might have.
A well-placed timeout, a good out of bounds call, whatever. Like basketball is a game of momentum, and so good coaching definitely can.
So what does that say about Calipari?
Well,
I think he's done at Kentucky anyway. I think he's looking for a way out too.
Really?
There as well. But to answer your question, I mean, take a look at the teams that are still in it, right? Alabama, not your traditional basketball school. Houston on the map recently, but not one of your blue bloods.
Alabama's
you look at Kansas
actually
State,
been better over the past couple years.
They have, but never before has Alabama been ranked number 1 in the AP poll in basketball, and they were this year. And they are the overall number 1 seed entering the tournament this year. But yeah, I mean, you have FAU, Princeton's still alive, Miami, which is not a traditional basketball school. Like, there's a lot of non-traditionals in here. Kansas State, I see it on your shirt there, Josh. But there are some blue bloods. UCLA, which has won more national titles than any school in college basketball, is still alive. Tennessee, UConn.
Wait, time out. Stop. You just named Tennessee in there as a blue blood school in basketball? No. Women's basketball, yes. Men's, no.
They're too inconsistent. Tennessee sports in general are too inconsistent. Like the school of Tennessee, not.
When was the last time Tennessee won a national title in men's basketball, Ryan?
Google will help me with that, and I don't believe it's actually happened.
Yeah, so there you go. You're thinking of Pat Summitt and UT women's basketball,
which was a powerhouse. Forever.
That's very true.
That is much different.
That is very true. However, Tennessee has made the Sweet 16 now twice in the last 4 years. So I'm just saying, traditional basketball power.
Sweet 16 doesn't mean unless you get to the end.
She's right. Like, that's cool, and I'm glad, but they're not putting up a banner saying you made the Sweet 16, most likely.
They've not. So does anybody have and now that we are down to 16 teams, who is your national champion favorite now?
Well, that's interesting because if you look at what we have done in our brackets.
Are you CY, the quad with CY, by the way?
He has 2 brackets in.
I did 2, which is the same thing I did last year. And actually, my second bracket is 28th.
Nice.
So I have, guess who? Alabama winning it all in that bracket.
My bracket is definitely screwed, but I do
Daily the Bears, 74th.
Yeah.
You're 74th right now.
But I do have Houston winning it all.
And producer Josh is tied for 86th, and he had Purdue as the national champion. And they got upset by Princeton in the first round. So,
oops.
And your boy is 52nd. I have UCLA, so it seems like at least 3 of us still have an opportunity here to win. At least continue to climb up the standings. Now, I do want to commend our first, second, third, and fourth place. JD 0122 is currently in first place, but they had Kansas as their champion. Here we go, which is second, had Kansas as a champion. Just Mev had TCU. So right now, TK 29-23, that's Tyler K, with Houston right now as his projected national champion is right now the possible leader in the clubhouse for the winner of our bracket, which, by the way, whoever wins gets some free swag from us. So, but this is awesome. We actually had a record number of entries this year for our March Madness bracket tournament. So I want to thank you guys for being a part of this because it's awesome to compete. We have, I believe, over 170 that are in the tournament this year. So awesome job, guys. Thanks for joining.
I got to give a shout out for 2 of the people that are ranked tied 12th. Because if it is not any of those teams, the other team in my first bracket that I had winning it all which is not picked by many, but picked by some. One Love and K-Pain 05231 both have Texas winning it all, and they both have 420 points currently. So things are going to get interesting if it goes that route.
Gotta be fun.
And thank you guys for wanting to join in and be a part of this with us. This is always something we like to do during March Madness and something we're going to keep doing. But it's a lot of fun, and you know what? It is definitely, if there ever was a March Madness, I would say it's probably this year. This is the craziest one I've seen in a long time.
I feel like we keep saying that though, right? Like every year seems to be crazy. Like when UMBC upset Virginia, and then last year I forget who the darling was last year.
Stop. Now you're just throwing stats. This is much crazier than the year that the first 16-over-1 ever happened, because not only have we had a 16-over-1, there's been a lot of other teams that were one or that were chalk that have gone down really early.
Yeah.
See Kansas, see
Arizona.
Purdue, see Arizona. Like, this is much crazier than that year, all in all. When you take it as like a whole, this is probably the craziest year I've seen in a long time. Like, I could point to the year, being from Murfreesboro. I could go, yeah, remember that one year that MTSU upset Michigan State when Michigan State was still a powerhouse? That's one game out of the entire tournament. That is an anomaly in the tournament, right? That's always going to happen in March. That's just the case. This is multiple brackets just being absolutely annihilated. I still don't think there's anybody in the country that filled out a bracket that has a perfect bracket.
There isn't.
Zero.
It stopped
There's
after
only
the first week or the first night.
There's only one perfect women's bracket left. So right now, out of all the brackets done between the men's and women's tournaments, only one perfect bracket remains, and that's on the women's side.
Wild. Proof.
Oof. All right. Let's. Do you have a quick NBA update for us, Josh?
Oh man. It seems that the Sacramento Kings are going to make the playoffs.
Yep. Looks like they are.
I predicted it. The Lakers are in trouble. The Lakers, everything has to break correct for the Lakers down the stretch now in the last 10 games. They had two really tough back-to-back losses that kind of have messed with their fate in the play-in tournament. So a lot of things have to go right for them to get in. If they get in,
they're probably still done early.
I don't know. They're playing really good basketball right now, and that's
without two back-to-back losses.
They were a buzzer beater by Maxi Kleber, which okay, fine, and then one was Houston without AD, which if you don't have any of your stars, then you're not going to win. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I don't know. This it feels like college basketball too. I really have no idea what's going to happen in these playoffs. You could tell me,
wow.
You could tell me Denver falls, like Golden State could get into the 8th seed and Denver loses to 8-1.
Owen Wilson.
Wow. You could tell me the Lakers make it into the finals. You could tell me the Suns make it. You could tell me Sacramento could be up 2-1 in the Western Finals. Anything is possible right now.
All right, Kevin Garnett.
Anything is possible.
Yep.
Before we jump off sports, obviously opening day against.
We're not done with sports. Why are you trying to dictate what we're doing, Ryan?
I was trying to drive the bus here. Can I drive the bus for a second?
No. You're trying to drive the bus from the beginning of this podcast. What's going on with you today? You have too much coffee?
No, I drove 13 hours from Tennessee to Florida, so I feel like I'm still driving. So I think that's kind of why.
Okay, well, you know what? I tell you what. Go ahead, drive the bus for a minute.
Yes. This is finally my only child syndrome. Finally worked on this podcast. I like this. Just one quick thought. Oh, don't do that.
What did you say?
Should I mute him now?
Oh, that'd be so mean. No, don't mute him. Go ahead, Rye.
All right. The one quick thought I want to give on the World Baseball Classic, with baseball officially regular season kicking off 10 days from now. The World Baseball Classic has been awesome. If you have not had an opportunity to watch it, it has been like soccer invading baseball. And they've had this in past years, the WBC, but this year it has been an absolute spectacle to observe. And the U.S. is trying to go for back-to-back World Baseball Classic championships. It is awesome to watch. I wish baseball would do this more often, maybe rotating it every other year, because it's so cool to see players, fans so jacked and juiced to play and represent their country. and $1 billion roster the USA has. And right now they are into the finals and will await likely Mexico, who will be potentially playing them tomorrow night. But it's been awesome to watch. And if you haven't caught it, guys, please get an opportunity to watch because it's really cool and it's what baseball should be about.
And you remember when we were talking about this and you're like, I wish they would have more starting pitchers that actually play in the big leagues, play in the World Baseball Classic, and that would just make it so much better and it would be crazy and it would draw more attention. And then that Mets pitcher went out to celebrate and hurt himself.
And he's out for the season.
Yeah, Edwin Diaz did go out and hurt himself. And look, you're going to have
exactly why they don't want to play in the World Baseball
You're going to have
Classic.
injury risks. Like you're going to have injury risks,
Yeah,
right? I mean, and that was a freak. That was a freak injury. Jose Altuve is the other one. He fractured a thumb. That's the one that's more of like, okay, that's from playing. The Edwin Diaz one was a celebration in a dog pile. Like that was a freak injury.
But that's my point. It's a freak injury not playing a league game. That's why they don't do it.
Especially
that's exactly why.
If you're a Mets fan right now, you are not.
Oh my God, they're
thrilled.
imploding.
Sammy Sosa once got injured by sneezing and hurting his back. So I guess you can get injured anyway.
Who among us hasn't done that?
Here's the deal. You can get hurt anyway. I could walk out of here and trip and fall down the steps. I'm not going to live my life thinking that's going to happen. That being said, when you can mitigate risk and your job is to throw a baseball and you're one of the top people in the world to do it and you get hurt playing something that really doesn't matter, it's just everybody getting together in the world and playing baseball for trying to put eyeballs on it. I get what you're saying. It's amazing. It has been great. It's been really, really fun to watch. But that's why you can't look at any star player and be like, why aren't you playing in the World Baseball Classic? Because they could get hurt while they're not doing what they get paid for.
I really need you to be careful today when you walk downstairs. Please, just make sure one foot right in front of the other. I don't want you falling down the stairs.
I'll hold the rail walking out to the bus.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Knock on wood. That make you feel better? There. So this is why I was like, why are we getting off sports? We haven't talked about NFL free agency at all, Ryan. Which is obviously way more of a story than the World Baseball Classic.
Is that big? Is something big happening in NFL free agency?
A lot of big things are happening in free agency, actually.
By the way, I was curious because you just did it. Why do people knock on wood for luck? So I just actually looked up the origin of knocking on wood. And in many cultures, it's common superstition for people to knock their knuckles on a piece of wood to bring themselves good fortune or ward off bad luck. It actually began in the 19th century.
Is it something about fairies living in trees?
Guys, we're talking about the NFL.
You can't do that in like
shiny penny, like just hard left.
I love that, Ryan. You didn't even like explain why we do it. You just said, "Yeah, lots of people do it."
Well,
for a long time now.
According to History.com, while the origins of knock on wood may never be known for certain, the superstitions remain popular around the globe.
That's cool.
Anyways, yeah, the Bears have been doing a lot of work. I will have to say, I'm very excited for one ad that we have, and ironically, it is a tight end.
Of course.
We added Robert Tonyan, who is awesome. He also comes to Nashville and works out a lot, and he's a really great guy. But
just go ahead and say you're excited they signed him because you think he's hot.
He's hot.
There it is.
Yeah.
But he's also great. He was great on the Packers. Like he did so well. Yeah, he did.
I've had him in fantasy. He wasn't that great.
I think you buried the lead here. It's a different Packer we should be talking about, or former Packer right now, that it's leading free agency, not a tight end going to the Bears, which they have 17 of them now on their roster.
Well,
We've had
I'll
17.
also say that there was one of the accounts that I follow on TikTok, and they were talking about breaking down free agency, and they go, the Bears. Congratulations, you signed a young linebacker with a lot of upside after you got rid of a young linebacker with a lot of upside because you wouldn't pay him.
I miss you, Roquan. Again, the Bears, everyone's raving about everything the Bears have been doing. And
Who?
No, they're literally, when you go through all the stupid ESPN articles that come out, they're like, the Bears have been number one in this free agency.
No, they have not. No,
Number
they have
one?
not.
I don't know about that.
Now, if you're talking about as a body of work and then picking up like draft picks and stuff like that, okay,
Can
I'll
I
give you that
finish
one.
my statement to what I was saying?
Not unless you show some proof where everybody's saying that they won free agency.
No, it doesn't matter. Go on.
Oh my God! Just what are you talking about? Who said this?
I keep getting notifications through ESPN and those other sports apps. The Bears are leading the way. Blah, 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 blah. Of course, but everyone knows how I feel about this. Everything they do does not mean anything to me until they produce on the field, and they still have yet to be able to do that. And we have not drafted yet, and we screw up every draft. So yes, thank you for picking up some of the players that we already had that you got rid of for no freaking reason. And I'm so glad you picked up a wide receiver. But, Justin Fields has to throw the ball because he's a runner. And that's about it. Anyways.
He's a track star.
I will say CBS Sports has given the Chicago Bears a B+ in their grades for free agency so far. However, the team that has earned an A is the Dallas Cowboys.
Now, why would that be, Ryan? Which is why I was asking her to give me an example of this, because this is exactly where I was going with it.
Well, Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks are two very good additions for the Dallas Cowboys that they have secured in free agency.
Oh, you mean one of the best corners in the league, Stephon Gilmore, who's now going to be playing opposite of one of the other best corners in the league for our defense to help shore up that other side of the field across from Diggs. And then we picked up Brandon Cooks because we needed a wide receiver who's got some speed that can go deep. And we got him for basically a,
ham sandwich.
Metro Subway pass and a ham sandwich. I mean, we really didn't give much up
like
to
a
get
washing
him.
machine and a roll of quarters. Here you go.
Yeah.
Metro Subway Pass could be pretty. That could be pretty.
If it's like the 7-day unlimited, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, I tell
How do
you.
you feel about letting Zeke go?
I think that's the right decision. I mean, I love Zeke. I think he is. If you look at his career numbers, they are so much better than what you think they are from the outside looking in. And I think he will be looked back upon, no matter what he does, what team he goes to, what he does moving forward, very, very fondly. And people will be like, man, he was really good. Like, he's already put up some stats that eclipse a lot of people, like Hall of Fame running backs. Not kidding. Like, that's an actual true statistical thing. But you could tell, like, Tony Pollard was taking over. It's his time in that team. And I think it may benefit Zeke to go somewhere else and be, in a new system and be somewhere that he gets leaned on as a primary back, as opposed to, where the Dallas Cowboys look like they were going. Now, do we need to draft well, which notoriously we have not either? At times, yes. We need to draft well.
Where do you think Zeke goes? I was thinking about this.
He might be a replacement for Derrick Henry in Tennessee if Henry goes elsewhere. I could see that being a possibility for sure.
You think Henry leaves?
They're shopping him.
Oh yeah, they're shopping him.
That's the only thing that Tennessee has going for them. Why would they get rid of the number one person that is only going to be able to score us points? I say us. It's not my team, but in the state of Tennessee.
I could see.
I wouldn't suggest getting rid of Derrick Henry, but I could see them leveraging assets to get something in return. Maybe a quarterback to replace Tannehill, and then signing a Zeke on the side.
Okay, let me throw a weird one your way. Tampa Bay.
I thought about that.
Yeah, because Leonard Fournette isn't there anymore, so that could be very interesting.
That's kind of what I'm saying. You use him to replace what Leonard Fournette was for that team. Give Baker a shot.
I think that's a good move. I also think, and I have no idea the cap structure, so this could not even be a possibility. But I also think Los Angeles for the Rams, because they need a running back. But I could also see a carousel of Derrick Henry.
Zeke. Zeke's looking to get paid too.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. The reason that the Cowboys structured his deal this way was that they could let him go and not be on the hook for the rest of what that deal was.
Yep.
I'll give you a surprise one that might be really beneficial.
Okay.
Buffalo. I think he could end up with the Buffalo Bills and add a really, really nice wrinkle to that offense.
Do they have the cap space to do that, though?
I don't think so.
I don't think they do.
I think.
Well, they
they're full,
restructured
aren't
a
they?
lot of contracts. They restructured the contract of Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and Von Miller. So they cleared up $32 million in cap space. So that could be a potential landing spot for him. And watch out if Zeke goes to Buffalo, because that would be.
Could you
pretty
imagine
nuts
if
for their
Derrick
offense.
Henry went to Buffalo?
Oh God,
If that's
Don't do that
if
to me,
that's what they
please.
cleared it out for,
that would be dangerous.
that would be awful.
The other team, by the way, to receive an A in the CBS Sports offseason rankings were your Miami Dolphins.
Who's your quarterback?
Tua, they just officially
what's-
re-signed him.
Hey,
What's-
congratulations!
Extended
Did he
it.
pass?
Thank you.
Did he pass protocol yet?
I don't think he knew what he was signing, but that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Well, what else is making me mad about the Bears is that they're doing the same thing they did last year, and it didn't work out too well for them. They keep signing everyone to a 1-year deal. And I'm like, are you trying to build a team or not?
Well, that's probably for capital for the future. I mean, they're trying to do that
Okay.
to save cap space down the road.
Are you going down the road, or are the Bears just basically writing off this year?
They did the same thing last year. How many years are they going to write off? Last year they signed all the low ends for 1-year deals. Are you actually planning on making a damn team, or are you just like, well, let's try. Let's just do this. That doesn't help. No one's going to be
Did they win? Did they win 3 or 4 games this year?
3.
I guarantee you they double their win total next year.
Whoa!
Oh, really?
I guarantee you they double their win total.
So you're
Actually,
saying-
if they're over under with Vegas, let me see what their Vegas over under is. Because
It's
I
gonna be
guarantee
6.
you the Bears are going to. I think it's probably going to be 6.5.
You said double, so
That would be 6.
I would be willing to go in on that. I would be. Okay, so the over under for the Chicago Bears. Oh, they haven't posted them yet. Okay, so that doesn't help.
Okay.
However, I would tell you, I would say 6 would be where I would land for the Bears. I think they double the win total.
I think so too, because I think the Packers take a step back.
but we still got the Vikings and the Lions who emerged last year.
We'll see. I mean,
Well, the Vikings just got rid of their entire defense.
Vikings are
Well, so
starting
did the
over.
Bears. So
But I mean, no, the Vikings like liquidated their defense. It's whatever they had is just like
Gone.
gone.
And then the Lions let Jamal Williams go to New Orleans.
You know what?
I love Jamal Williams.
I love Jamal Williams. That guy is so funny.
He's so funny. He's one of the best
Interviews.
post-game
Oh
interviews
my God.
ever.
He's incredible.
I have an update on this Bears win total, by the way. According to Caesars Sportsbook, the Bears are by far the most popular NFL win total under bet. They opened at 6.5.
But yeah.
So are you taking the over, Ryan?
I'm taking the under 6.
Okay.
I'm done with you.
We will see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. This is all
What about
free
Aaron
agency.
Rodgers?
It's early.
Aaron Rodgers to the Jets.
You know,
Look, he says
that's
he's
in your
doing that,
that's
but-
in your division now. Where do you think all
I
your
know.
like? Do you think you're going to beat him a bunch?
Well,
now?
that's why we went out and got Jalen Ramsey and pairing him with Xavier Howard to have the best defensive backfield.
Have you
in
watched
NFL
Jalen Ramsey
history.
the last couple seasons?
Yeah.
I still think if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets, it's not going to be as dramatic as everyone thinks. I think it's just going to be
I also
Wait, you don't think he's going to be very good?
with the Jets. No,
I think the Jets are going to be awesome this year if Aaron Rodgers goes there.
I think the opposite.
not if they. And again, he's on record on the Pat McAfee show of saying, that he is not asking for all of these players, but I guarantee you he's asked for some of them because every single time that it comes up, anything with Aaron Rodgers, he's always like real flippant about it, and then about half of it's true.
Mm-hmm.
If he's actually wanting some of those receivers, like those, I get it. He's comfortable with those guys, but those are not number one.
They got Lazard. They did sign Lazard, so that's that.
But
I
Lazard
like-
isn't great.
But Lazard is probably the best one out of that list. And so if they go get Cobb
The best part, shout out to Annie Agar on Twitter. She was like, Aaron Rodgers complains that he doesn't have weapons in Green Bay, goes to the Jets and then asks for all the same weapons in Green Bay. Incredible.
yeah. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
I think that
Also, I love that Ryan came out and said the best free agency pickups were the Dallas Cowboys, and then he proceeded to turn right around after I mentioned Stephon Gilmore across from Diggs and say that Miami has the best defensive backfield in the league.
Yep.
Stand behind my statement there.
Oh. Okay, let's go to movies. Movies.
This is the perfect spot for the Chiefs. We just like to just coast under the
Just
radar.
coast.
Everyone's like, "Oh, the Chiefs are going to fall off," and then
I don't know if you know this, but you just won a Super Bowl.
we did
Yeah,
on a rebuilding year.
yeah. You're hoping you keep all of the pieces that you had.
I feel very good about what we're doing in free agency right now.
Yeah. All right, John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum.
It's John Wick week.
Yes, it is. It is John Wick
It's
week.
Wick week.
We are
Wick.
all I can think of is Witwicky from Transformers when you say that.
Wick week. Okay, I'm done.
So we are obviously the movie for this week is John Wick 4.
There's no extra title with it. It's just John Wick 4, right?
I don't care if there is.
I
It's
don't
the
care.
fourth John Wick movie. That's what we're watching.
4 of 6.
Yes.
Does it come out Thursday?
Thursday at midnight.
Yep.
Wait, they're really going to have 6? They already said that?
Yeah, they've already greenlit 5 and 6, and they already started shooting 5.
Oh, wow.
They were going to shoot 5 and 6 at the same time, and then schedule will not permit them to do that, so they have to break it up.
Quick aside. There's so many memorable characters that have been in all of the casts from these movies, but Lance Reddick.
Yeah, gosh, way too young.
Yeah.
R.I.P. 60 years old. He was the concierge at the Continental.
Well, and he's been a bunch of voiceover creds recently for like a lot of video game work and stuff. So definitely
He will be
sad.
missed.
He will be very, very missed. He's already gotten like an outpouring of people, not just from.
When did he pass?
It was
Like
this weekend.
2 days ago. Yeah.
2 days
I
ago,
did see
yeah.
that.
Unexpectedly, too. There were no further details provided on his passing, but his publicist did attribute his death to natural causes, which is just shocking. I mean, even Keanu Wick came out and Keanu Reeves. There's a combination there.
Wick.
Keanu Reeves came out and issued a statement just saying how deeply sad and heartbroken he was. So, thoughts obviously with Lance and his entire family.
Yeah. And by the way, it is John Wick Chapter 4.
Chapter
is
4.
is what they're calling
Yes.
it. But that's what we're watching this week. Anyway, let me read from John Wick 3. 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, 88% of Google users like this movie.
Incredible.
Of course.
How does that even work if it's not out yet?
No,
Oh,
this is
wait,
the
I'm
third
sorry.
The third one.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute, what?
After gunning down a member of the High Table, the shadowy International Assassins Guild, legendary hitman John Wick finds himself stripped of the organization's protective services. Now stuck with a $14 million bounty on his head, Wick must fight his way through the streets of New York as he becomes the target of the world's most ruthless killers. The box office on this was, I think it's saying 327 million. It was one of the highest grossing movies of 2019. It beat out Shazam and Aquaman, and that is at a time where, now you're starting to see a little bit of fall off in some of the attention on superhero franchises. I mean, we completely missed the second Shazam, which dropped this week.
Yeah.
Oh, which apparently did horrible in the box office.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody really was.
No.
Should have brought Shaq back for it.
That was
a different movie.
Kazam.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Whoops.
I saw two things that I have to say. One, we all like this movie, right? The third
Yeah.
John Wick.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Incredible. By the way, the budget was $75 million. So when you brought up the box office at 327, that's insane.
Yeah. Let's say you double it and it was 150 with,
PR.
then you still doubled your money on the back end, which is
Yep.
nuts. Basically, this one to me was the one that was like, oh, this is gonna have some staying power, because the second one was good, not as good as the first one in my opinion, but still like, okay, that's like, Taken 2 wasn't as good as the first one, but I still liked the idea of it. They did a twist on it. I'm like, okay, cool. Where do you go with the third one? and it didn't really land for me in the Taken series. This one, I was like, oh, these are
phenomenal.
They have an entire like storyboard of this, and this is like broad strokes going into minute details of why the stuff that happened in 1 and 2 led up to what's happening in 3,
and who's related to who,
and how did he become the Baba Yaga? Like, how did all of this occur, and like, why is it important, and what are the organizations stacked on top of the other organizations, and like the system all the way down, and
who owes what to whom?
Exactly. And I thought they nailed it, and I'm really excited for Chapter 4 because I think they've set it up in a way that it all makes sense. I loved they had some heavy duty animal trainer work on this film.
Those fight scenes with Halle Berry's dogs is
the mouse.
Yeah. It's just, that's a whole nother level stuff.
I guess coming from someone who has worked on set with animals, it's not easy because you have to realize when you're working with these animals, they tell you what the scene is and what you need to train these animals to do for these, this scene with the script and all this other things. But sometimes the director's like, no, actually, I want this. And you're like, we didn't train for that. And then you have to go into a complete 360 and hope that it works out. Because that's basically how these things work. Or, if you've been training on coming in from this side and they change it up, it's like, oh, wait a minute. And the dog completely freaks out. You have to realize these are still animals. Even though they're very well trained, they're still just animals. So the communication just has to be there, and the relationship between them and the trainers, and whoever. I guess I can look into it since they started removing animal trainers from the credits, which, by the way, we deserve to be there. Kudos to whoever this company is and whoever the trainers were, because they were phenomenal. They did a fantastic job.
And also, like, congrats to the directors, because you can tell they really thoughtfully think about all these action scenes and what is blocked where and what move is happening and how Keanu is going to roll into this and do this from this. I mean, it really, it's art. You're watching a dance like being choreographed in a very specific way. And the dogs were just like 2 more added bonuses on top of it,
Mm-hmm.
Like they
I'm
were
interested to see. So go ahead, Josh. Sorry.
Oh, it was already, and again, I'm not really the world's biggest like action movie person, but these movies are incredible. They would have been awesome action scenes if there were no dogs, and the dogs just like took
Made
it
it
to
better.
a whole nother level.
I'm interested to see the dynamic between Winston and John Wick in Chapter 4, because it seems like that torn alliance between those two. How does that evolve into this next chapter of John Wick? And I thought the ending of John Wick 3 will play a part in how John Wick 4 develops. So really interested to see, that dynamic between the two. But I love the Wick series. And I think this movie's, whatever the budget was for John Wick 4, I think it's going to absolutely 3X or 4X it, because everybody is excited
Well, don't you
for this
think
next installment.
it's crazy that the whole premises of this movie revolves around a dog?
Yeah.
Like they're getting 6 chapters out of what started over a dog.
It's what makes everyone buy in on this. It's like,
Exactly.
oh, his wife dies in the first one.
Well, okay.
We're already there. I know. I just to be clear, his wife dies, and then he gets beat up and they kill his dog, and he's like, all right, I guess I have to kill everyone in my path now. And not a single person among us would be like, yeah, okay, go for it, man.
Exactly.
Dude, kill all of them. Can I help?
They killed the dog.
Yeah.
How dare you? And it's still preferences. Whatever. It's still being used all the way. References. It's still being used throughout the whole movie. You killed his dog?
Yeah,
What?
I thought they were going to do it to one of Halle Berry's dogs, and I was like, no, and then it was fine. Also, shout out to Boban Marjanovic, NBA legend, who's in the very beginning of John Wick 3.
It's so good. He's so perfect for that too.
Bobby is just, he's the best. He might be my favorite NBA player.
He does a nice goldfish commercial now where you can see how many goldfish he fits in the palm of his hand, which is just perfect too.
Yep.
He's excellent and amazing. John Wick 4 though, excited for it. I will be back in Nashville this weekend, so maybe we can all go see it together.
Are you going to be in person on Monday?
I am.
Cool.
You're gone, though.
Might have to be Sunday
Okay.
because I've got Friday and Saturday
I could do.
in DFW.
I could do Sunday night.
All right, let's do it. And let's move on to the hot take.
Hot take!
Oh, crap. I messed up. One last addendum that I was going to say. Movies. Sorry. I was trying to find something. There's a very interesting line in the trailer. And when he's fighting in the John Wick 4 trailer, and I need to go back and listen to this again because I listened to it twice, and it sounds like he says to his adversary in John Wick 4, "They gave you my name," and he goes, "I'm sorry." I don't know what that means. Has he become the replacement for Wick? Did they give him? I don't know. It just seems very intriguing. I don't want to dig too deep into it because I don't want spoilers.
I don't want to know.
So I'm really, really looking forward to that movie. All right. Do you want to hit the button again? There you go. Of course you do.
Hot take!
Oh, the worst household chore.
This hot take runs deep in my bones.
Go ahead. I want to hear what yours is.
Okay, so obviously no one really likes doing chores. Sometimes you're like, oh, I felt really great that I did that. But most of the time you're like, no one wants to do chores. There's a lot of chores around the house. Dishes, vacuuming, cleaning windows, like everything in your house. But there's always one dreaded chore that you just put off and put off and put off and put off and you never want to do it. Personally, I think it is the worst one of them all, yet could be probably the easiest, and that is putting away laundry. The worst thing in the world is doing clean laundry and then just throwing it on your bed and you sleep on your clothes for a week.
So wait, you're not even going with the process of doing laundry.
No,
it's
I
putting it away.
I will throw laundry. I will clean stains off.
And
with
it's not even the
OxiClean.
folding. It's just putting it away.
Just putting it away because I hang up a lot and I put a lot in my drawers, but it will sit in my laundry hamper clean until I go through it again and have to wash it.
I think a lot of people would relate to this, and I'm giving you just.
And I know a lot of people also lay on their
I would
clean
just-
clothes
I
on the
would
bed.
just say
So
laundry.
I think everyone hates putting their clothes away because
You're gonna win if you just say laundry. If you say putting laundry away, you're not gonna win this one.
I think so. You know how many people
Okay.
just throw
Alright.
their clothes on their bed because they don't want to actually put it away? I have no problem throwing it in the washer and the dryer. That is simple. Throw it in there, walk away, leave it alone.
It's putting away laundry.
It's putting laundry away. I don't, you're right though. I don't want to fold it. I don't want to hang it. I don't want to do any of that.
Okay.
I just want to leave it there and put it on again.
I have zero problem with laundry, and maybe it's because I'm a guy. I can literally grab everything out of the dryer, throw it in a bag,
You
and
also
walk out the
don't
door.
wear nowhere
Like-
near as many clothes as I do.
Well, I'm a dude, so yes, that's true. I wear a lot of jeans and t-shirts. If it's a button down, I'm probably just throwing it somewhere to hang up and air dry, and then throwing it in a bag, getting on the bus, and ironing it on the bus right before the show. So. I got used to that when I was a kid. Like when I got to college and everybody was like, oh, God, I don't know how to wash my clothes because their parents have been doing it forever. I washed a load of red and white stuff together and had pink clothes for a while when we had no money and my mom was raising me and my sister on her own as a single parent before my dad, technically my stepdad, but my dad to me, came into the picture. And she basically set us down and said, this is how you wash your clothes. If you mess them up again, that's on you. You're wearing pink clothes.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. But I was doing that all the way through the high school, and that wasn't a big chore for me. My thing has always been dishes. I love to cook, and when you cook, if you cook anything that's difficult and it's not like a one pot dish or a one pan thing, like you're gonna make a mess. You're gonna make a bunch of different dishes that you have to wash. And I don't care what anybody says. There has not been a Cascade or anything invented on this planet where you can just throw it in the dishwasher and it actually gets it clean, depending on what you've been cooking on that surface. I don't care what it's made out of. I don't care if you use parchment paper. It doesn't matter.
Don't
It's
show me
gonna
how
get
it
dirty.
works on ducks.
Yeah.
I'm not cooking ducks. I'm not trying to wash ducks. I need something that works on pans.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because most of my life I've never had a dishwasher. Even in the last 7 years in my house, I've never had a dishwasher. So washing dishes is just so first nature to me.
But
it doesn't bother me. I actually like doing dishes.
We're not talking about your pick. You already made your pick.
I know.
Calm
I'm
down,
saying
Ryan.
that I like washing dishes, so that's definitely not my pick. Putting away clothes,
I
hate that.
I do not like washing dishes. I love cooking. That is the part where I like get to the end and I've eaten and I'm like staring at them in the sink and I'm just like, I don't want to do this. So that is my least favorite household chore.
A great handoff. I love cleaning up after I cook. It's a weird OCD thing. I have so many different cleaning products that do different things. I have one just for.
I'm not talking about cleaning the oven. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm
Just the
talking about
dishes.
the dishes.
Yep.
Yes.
I like it. I like it.
We're being specific here.
Mine is cleaning the bathroom. The bathroom is disgusting. It is where you poop. It is where you shower. It is gross. I hate it. I love having a clean bathroom. I do, but I hate cleaning it.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That is a really good one.
All
But
right,
I
Ryan.
still also don't mind cleaning the bathroom.
I have some lists coming up for the most hated chores according to Americans, which, by the way, all of yours are on the list.
What is yours?
My least favorite chore, and it's because I despise this, and it is sweeping and vacuuming. I cannot get behind the sweeping and vacuuming because every time I sweep, I got the dustpan and the dust gets all over the place. And the vacuum, you have to have different types of vacuums that can get under different surfaces, and then you're having to get on your hands and knees. I despise it.
I get
Sweeping
a high
and
when I
vacuuming.
see a clean floor after the vacuum runs over it. I'm like, yeah.
All right, so maybe it's because I have a dog. But if you don't sweep and you have a dog that sheds, you will have a second dog on the floor.
Sometimes a third
It's very
dog.
true.
Or
It's very true. I'm not saying that you don't do it. I hate doing it. I have to do it, but I despise doing it. Now, I will say, according to USA Today, they did a study, and these are the 5 most hated chores in America. At number 5, cooking and grocery shopping. I don't know. I love grocery shopping, especially being hungry.
Yeah, I love
Best.
both of those.
At number 4, sweeping or vacuuming.
There you go.
At number 3, cleaning the bathroom.
Oh,
The second most hated chore, according to Americans, is doing laundry. And by far, the most hated chore in the U.S. for Americans is washing dishes.
there it is, baby.
That makes no
there
sense
it
to
is.
me.
I'm
It
telling
doesn't-
you, this
You're
is
rinsing
a thing.
it, throw it in the dishwasher.
No,
What is wrong with you people?
I'm telling you, it is more in depth than that. You can't just rinse a plate off and throw it in the dishwasher.
What is a bowl you shit
Like
in?
One's a bowl you eat in. I do have one last
Hopefully it's not the same bowl.
God.
One final statistic.
Okay.
And this was a survey from our friends at Yelp who found that 1 in 5 people said they would give up sex forever if they meant they didn't have to do chores any longer.
Whoa.
whoa.
Tell me you're bad in bed
Whoa.
without telling me.
Right?
This has gone off
That
the rails.
20% of people, that 20% of people are nuts.
So I do want to say this. I'm not adding this to the list because I don't think this would win, but I do think it would like punch above its weight class for one of those things that you don't think of because it's not a chore you do all the time. But it is one of the least favorite things to do because you always seem to run out of batteries, even though you know you've bought them for this. And it starts going off, and you can't figure out which one it is.
Yes.
It's changing the smoke alarm. It is changing the battery in the smoke detector because it's just beep. What the? And then you have to sit there and wait, and you're like, you think you figured out which one it is. You got your ear up to it, and it's beep, and it's a different one in a
It's
different
like
part
30
of the house.
minutes in each room of your house, just sitting waiting.
Oh God, it's
The worst
horrible.
when you're
worst part
sleeping, it's the middle of the night and you can't do anything about it.
Beep.
And like every 5 seconds, you're just waiting for that beep to go off. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, the worst part is I changed mine once and it still kept beeping, and I ripped
you
all
have
of
to-
them
you
out
have
of the
to
ceiling.
Well,
I don't have a.
Please don't do that. Put them back.
I did. I ripped them all out of the ceiling. I have
put them
one
back.
left. I have one left in my kitchen, and it goes off if I open the oven too fast. So.
Lord. Okay, that's people that are
The views
firefighters
of
are in
Haley
fire
McInnes
safety.
do
Or,
not.
yeah, please do not replicate that in your home. All right, so our picks are folding the laundry,
No.
folding the
Putting the-
laundry,
putting
the laundry
away.
putting the laundry away. I'm sorry, putting the laundry away, doing the dishes, cleaning the bathroom, and vacuuming
And sweeping and vacuuming. And by the way, early lead in the poll with 4 votes is putting away laundry. Just for the record, that's the
I
early
haven't
lead.
even
You
voted
already
yet.
put it up. All right. Well,
Oh,
guys,
it's up.
make sure you go vote. It's obviously doing the dishes. As always, thank you for listening to The Quad with Chris Young. We love you guys. Thank you so much for being here with us each and every week. Go check us out on YouTube. Definitely go vote on the poll. We'll see you next Monday. And